Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. Now, this is a video I really hoped I wouldn't have to make, and the reason for that is I didn't want to show you guys any exploits, bugs, or glitches that you could actually use, but I've came to the conclusion it's better to show you guys what's out there so you understand the level of difficulty and how to kind of stop these things from happening. Now, some of them are as simple as if they happen, you just get your admin to ban them straight off the server, but at least you know what you're looking for if I put this video together. So yeah, some of you are going to be upset, why are you showing the community all this stuff? Fine, I understand that. But at the same time, server admins, other people that have been running the different communities want to know what to look out for, and I think it's important to keep people informed. Of course, there's always going to be new bugs, new exploits, and we're going to have to stay on top of them to have a good server that is playable and fair. So let's jump into some of these weird bugs, exploits, and annoying things that players use to gain some sort of advantage. So let's get into this horrible mess. First off, we're having a look at Airlock Propulsion. Have you ever wanted to fly through space without the need for, well, thrusters? Well, here we go, we've got an exploit for you. Now, keep a lookout for this because players can accidentally make these by mistake if you're doing a ramp or some sort of thing from a large grid and it decides to clip in through another block, and you'll notice that grid starts to flip. It's a little bit different from some of the other physics bugs, but it's still quite annoying. So as them airlock doors go up, it creates the force that propels the grid, and this can have a very heavy lift capacity. But still, we don't condone any of this, and especially on the LSG servers, we spot you doing something like this, we'll kick you off. And we recommend admins of other servers do the same. We don't want to see these exploits becoming a popular thing in the community. We want people to use the core game mechanics. So let's continue a little bit on as he whistles off there into the distance. So we're having a look at a design of stones this time. So we've seen this on a few servers as well. It's basically trapping a small block in a door. Now, trapping a small block in a door creates a few different effects, and more importantly, it creates a force in a direction. And by doing so, you can see the doors seal up. Stone is propelled off there in a relatively controlled manner. He can manipulate them gyroscopes and to a degree maneuver around. These things are very sporadic, and in a fight they can be a little bit hard to control. Well, next up, we've also got ourselves a little door pusher like that by Conrad. You can see it blows away almost like a balloon, and it is controllable to some degree. But if you work on this concept and work out how to stabilize it, that I don't really want to go into much further because I'd really just like to see it gone, to be honest. Next up, we've got ourselves the classic Clang Drive. Now, this uses a merge blocks magnetation to pull a ship in a direction. By spinning the rotor in either the forward or rearward sort of motions, you can also double these up. You can have them on side axes. You can spin around and really control this guy to go in the direction you want. So you can see the merge block at the current moment in time is unactivated, but if we hop ourselves inside or get our lovely team member Shay to jump over there. So there we go. One of the LSG community showing off exactly what Clang can do. So we can see that this design, in my opinion, to a degree, it harnesses the power of space engineers, but to many others, it doesn't. It's an exploit, and it's kind of a really fine line of what's an exploit and what's a feature that should be used. And a lot of the space engineers community love engineering to the extreme, and they see all the tools in the space engineers toolbox as a challenge. And off there it goes. So as that spins forward, it goes forward. It can be turned, maneuvered. Shay's going to grab control of it now, move it to the left and right. There we go. We've got a little bit of a wiggle. So we can bring that right back towards, and just look how smooth that flies. It's going slightly up and slightly forward, but it can be reversed to be lowered down. The settings are going to be reversed in a second, and it should start cruising back towards me. This can be created with both connectors and merge blocks, so keep an eye out for that on the servers. There we go, just beautifully passing me over the top there. Now, some of you might also think this is an exploit, but this is a question I really wanted to kind of set for you. This is a gravity propelled mass block. Of course, it doesn't work on planets, but I wanted to know, do you guys think this is an exploit? Do you think this is something that Keen intended to be used like this way? Because I see a lot of gravity missiles, and I personally think gravity missiles are pretty cool using mass blocks. But let us know in the comment section below. We're going to continue moving down to the ground now. So we're now on the planet, we're taking a look at some more of these horrible exploits. Now, if we just go below the surface right here, you'll spot that there is some blocks that are built underground. Now, nicely to say, solar panels have been fixed, so we've not got any sun coming through there. They are not actually charging or powering, but there's plenty of other things that people could build underneath here. We've got a horrible example of a cockpit someone's built underneath there, so they can actually view around, look around as they're inside there.
You can actually access it from here as well.
Yeah, access it. Comrade's jumped in, so you can literally have a peek under the map, see people's bases, see where things are located. A horrible tactic, really ruins gameplay. We've got laser antennas under here. Now, a laser antenna can connect to any other laser antenna on the planet, so a stealth way of communicating, sharing a signal, or even controlling another rover or something else on the other side of the planet. And this will actually shoot through the surface, won't it, guys? I believe.
I believe so. Yes. A fin on the other side of the planet to show it off.
And now we've got a few more bad ideas as well. We've got the wind turbine that actually works underground. We've got the turrets that work underground as well. If Lugogo wants to jump in one of these turrets and give him a blast, I think he's up there. Or any of the individuals who can grab a turret, there he is. So it's scary. The thing with the rocket launcher, as well as he was saying before, is if he shoots something, let's fire at one of them solar panels that they've been building over there. So he can take out the solar panel, but the damage actually goes through the voxels and he can hit things above. So fire at that solar panel again. Yeah, try the other one, and let's try to splash the damage through the ground to take out the turret above. So there you go. It's a nasty tactic, and it could be used quite well, sadly, in a defensive role. So going a little bit further, we're coming over to Shay. Shay's going to show us how to construct something underground. It'd be nice if things went through, when they went through the ground, they were just unconstructable. You just couldn't build them. But I guess that would make issues for, blocks that are partially, in. So I guess we're kind of working on the edge of the technology here, or maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah, so the basic idea is that while SE won't let you use any block with moving parts or certain other blocks, they just can't be built underground, but you can still project them. So like with the setup right here, you got battery, projector, just a little basic defensive platform. So as mentioned, that the solar panels are patched out, turbines won't. And you can see right over here, you can interact with the hitbox of it. You start welding it up, and it places the block. You can see right there, it's been built, functioning, and it's actually functioning way better than it would if it were above ground right there.
So continue with the exploit road of looking through the terrain. This is another one we've seen. Is it right click or left?
I believe it's left to get small.
Okay, so we'll make ourselves a little entrance like that. And then we'll pop through. So we're here, and then we do this. Let me just see if I can replicate it. There we go. We can see through the terrain. And I've seen this used loads. And the worst thing about some of these things is a lot of players will deny using them 1000%. But then you see them use it, and you're like, oh, well, I've lost all respect now. But there we go. We can see right through the planet. And if you just go and run around the terrain, some of you guys over there will just demonstrate it. So just nice and further forward. Yeah, there you go. I can see everything they're doing. I could see a rover. I could see if you'd hidden a survival kit under your base. So it's pretty rubbish. I can even see him cutting his tunnel out. Anyway, let's continue on. So we're staying in the sort of exploits and problem type category to have a look at this next thing. Now, Conrad's nicely set up here 2 cargo containers that will constantly sort an item into each other. Now, if you've played on any servers for a long time, you'll know a lot of people have issues with sim speed, tending to drop. This is a real sim speed drainer, isn't it, Conrad? This one.
Yep.
I mean, can we get a demonstration of it draining enemy sim speed? We are at 1 now. I mean, since there's not much on this map, we would need a lot to happen, wouldn't we?
Give me a minute.
Give you a minute. I'll give it right. You've had a minute. Well, anyway, why Conrad's quickly setting that up?
And Lugogo set up, put stuff in the car.
Yeah, dump loads of rubbish in there. So why we're having a look at this? The other concept is why do conveyors cause so much sim speed drop? And why you shouldn't put 1,000 of them on your ship? And as Conrad's explained to me, I'll try to find a better way of explaining it. But there's multiple directions that the resources can be pulled through, and Space Engineers is trying to calculate every time something goes through that connector, if I'm right, Conrad?
Yeah, but it's thinking about 6 points of connection for each block, whereas 1 tube is only the link between 2, isn't it?
But I think it searches for the path for the components to take, and when it gets to those 6-way junctions, it searches each of the 6 junctions.
Wow. But did you just do it then, Conrad?
Yep. That is a full, what I like to call death to sin speed. That is so many different entities.
Oof, that's ouch.
And
Okay.
I found this multiple times in my long time playing SE, moderating and admin.
And that's
It's
mad though
like-
as well, because imagine if 4 or 5 people just set up their systems a bit incorrectly, or they overloaded their cargo containers and their sorters, and I mean, if you do, the thing with space engines, I always try to say this: if you don't know what you're doing with it, you can very easily break it. You know what? We didn't we bump into something like this on the Severus
Yeah, yeah.
system because we kept we basically kept running into a crash. Oh, hang on, it's done. It's done. You're back. I'm back.
No.
Oh no,
Sorry.
it's gone. It's gone. But basically, we ran into something like this in the early days of the system because someone was doing this same thing, and I think it was by accident every time. We rolled the server back, then they rebuilt it. They rolled the server back, they rebuilt it. But I actually think they didn't think they were doing this. I think they just thought they were a genius when it came to conveyor and sorting the supplies.
Yeah.
But saying this also happened when when we did the was it the Frozen, when everyone needed ice, when there was so much ice processing that. Yeah, a good chunk of the sim speed dropped just trying to process ice. I think what we're trying to say here is there's plenty of ways of breaking it, and it's really down to you guys as the player to not break it if you want to enjoy this game. Do you think that's fair enough to say, guys?
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
It's
That necessarily won't break it. The way we ended up doing it there, yes, it did break it, but necessarily it won't break it. It will usually just cause the server sin speed to decrease rapidly.
So to wrap this one up, I want to firmly say that I don't agree with any of these exploits, and I especially don't want to see them on our server. On our server, it'll be swiftly kicked, and I'd really hope that the community don't take any of these exploits to any of the other servers as well. And yeah, I know some of you are all getting your panties in a twist about this, and oh Warren, why are you showing all the people this? You can Google this, you can check it on YouTube. If you want to find this stuff and you want to win this way, the information's out there already. I just thought I'd confine it and let some of the community know that when this happens to them, when these things go wrong, when you see players doing weird things like this, what's actually happening. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'd like to leave you with this question. What is the way you want to play Space Engineers? What are you looking for in this game? Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.